Opinion: How older Americans hoard the future, an interesting Times conversation from the New York Times. I'm your host, and today we're diving into Ross Douthat's discussion with Yale law professor Samuel Moyn about what Moyn calls gerontocracy in America. Douthat opens by asking if the real threat to American democracy isn't fascism or socialism but the tyranny of the elderly. America's leadership class has grown remarkably old, and younger generations feel their elders are hoarding the American dream. Moyn's new book argues this concentration of wealth and power among older Americans is our least discussed crisis. They start with aging politicians, Mitch McConnell seeming to die in office, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's decision not to retire from the Supreme Court, and Joe Biden's age becoming a central political issue. Moyn suggests there's a deep existential reason powerful people refuse to retire. Beyond the corrupting nature of power, aging brings mortality into sharp relief, and clinging to position becomes a way to fend off that shadow. The conversation expands beyond politics to corner offices and wealth accumulation. Seniors hold disproportionate assets while younger Americans struggle with housing, student debt, and stalled careers. Moyn argues this distorts democracy itself when policy priorities reflect the interests of the old rather than the future. They discuss whether an intergenerational compact can be renewed, whether younger generations should revolt, or if structural reforms can rebalance power. The episode doesn't offer easy answers but frames the question urgently: in a society where the elderly hold so much control, what happens to the promise that each generation does better than the last? Thanks for listening. Join us next time for another interesting Times.